Zach, California Spangle is the horse that many people have been waiting to see reappear this season. He will do on Sunday afternoon. How are the excitement levels for you?
Yeah, quite excited. Obviously, he's my favourite horse at the moment, so I'm looking forward to getting back on him. There's a lot to like about him. His trials have been quite good up there in Trongfar. It's hard to get a good line through those trials. You sort of don't take the form out of them with any great confidence, but he's had his hit outs up there, and he looks like he's going well.
Obviously, he's trained by a master. How important was it, do you think, perhaps that you had trialled him, or is that perhaps not so much a big aspect as far as coming into this race is concerned?
I don't see it being a problem. I've ridden the horse many occasions now. I know him well. I know what to expect. So it wasn't essential that I trialled him, and he was able to trial up there on the grass, which is a good asset. He's ready to go to the races by the look of it.
And what he done last season, Zach, obviously he's never been worse than second, this horse. I mean, it was a huge season for him. Just to go back to the beginning of it, I know he got beat at relatively short odds on his seasonal debut, but since then he just blossomed as a horse, didn't he? Yeah,
and he had excuses in that race as well. He drew, might have been barrier 14. It was certainly the outside barrier in that race, and he had 3 or 4 horses kick up underneath him and make him work really hard, and he only just got run down the last bit, so there was a lot of merit in that performance. He came into that off a fairly soft trial as well, and then he just continued to improve after that. He's done everything right. He gives everything. The only problem I see in this race is maybe his racing manners. He does want to get on with it a little bit. He's a bit keen. And then if another horse races him, he might do a bit too much during the mid-stages, and being first up this season, especially over 1400, that leaves him a little bit vulnerable. But he's clearly the best horse in the race, there's no doubt about that. So hopefully he can give himself every chance.
Just on that aspect of speed, obviously it's a small field, potentially could play into being a very tactical race. You've got Healthy Happy in the contest as well. If, for example, he was to want to go forward, would you let up the lead to him, or does he have to lead this horse?
I'd be guided by what Tony will want me to do. So, yeah, we'll see.
Harry Kying Spirit is a horse that you managed to get your first win of the season on recently at Sha-Tin. Back to the well he will go on Sunday. Talk us through that win last time, because he did all his best work late.
He did. He really hit the line nicely. Came from not an ideal draw in 3. Obviously had to track across in doing so, but we're drawn better on Sunday, which is only going to help. He's a horse that probably just wants to follow the speed ideally, but he's very straightforward, and hopefully the step up in grade isn't going to be too much of an issue. He's carrying a lighter weight, which is going to give him a better chance of getting involved.
I know it's always advantageous to be against that stand side rail, but when obviously the barrier draws come out for these types of races, is that where sort of most riders, yourself obviously, want to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly if you're going forward, then I think being along the stand side rail is definitely preferable. Dropping in, you've obviously got to think about getting an exit and getting a clear run, so that always has to be something you think about, but I think it means that you have to cover less ground in tracking across.
He hasn't been with Danny all that long, this horse. He didn't get many opportunities last season to run here at Sha-Tin, but he's putting together a pretty nice record over the 1,000 metres.
That's it. He's had 3 runs here at Sha-Tin over the 1,000 metres. He's won twice and not finished far away on the other time. So clearly track and distance really suits him. So I'm happy to see him back over this course and distance.
And just, Harry, as an overall assessment of the race, I mean, I know he's up in grade, you've mentioned, can he take that step forward, do you think?
I think he can. He's a horse that still feels like he's got a bit of room for progress. As I mentioned before, he's only carrying 117, so a light weight on his back's going to help, and we'll see if he's up to the task.
And always great, I suppose, for a rider to get the support of someone like Danny Sherb. You and he are putting together, a nice little relationship now. You've ridden quite a few of his runners this season.
That's right. Danny is a powerful stable here in Hong Kong, and it's great to be connected with him, and obviously very grateful for his support so far, and hopefully I can make them count.
Zach, Youthful deal. We'll see him for the 3rd time on Sunday afternoon. First off, talk us through that recent trial, because to many trial watchers, that was quite impressive.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of interference midway through the trial. A couple of horses, sort of midfield to back, run into a bit of trouble, and he got his momentum going and sort of snuck a large break on them and just maintained that. So it was a little bit misleading, and it was only over the 1,000. He's obviously got to go 1,200 here, which, you know, just tested him a bit there last season. He raced to the front like he was going to run away with the race and got there and couldn't close it off strongly enough. It was only his second start. But yeah, he seems like he's going well, so he's another one I'm looking forward to riding.
Frankie was quick to put the tongue tie on him. What's your assessment of that? Obviously, was he a horse that perhaps just had one or two issues that needed a bit of help?
He's been a little bit thick in the wind, so it's just about trying to help him breathe as well as he can.
You're in gate number 7. Does that sort of complicate things at all, or are you happy where you are?
It won't be complicated if he begins well.
Yeah.
So the start's important. He's shown he's got a little bit of speed. He should race in a prominent position, and yeah, we'll just see what happens with the other runners around us.
John TUCHEL is a horse that you're going to reintroduce for the season on Sunday. Did quite a bit in a short space of time last season. How happy have you been with his preparation leading up to Sunday?
No, he seems fine. He's in pretty good order. He's had a couple of trials after a break. It looks like he's in good shape.
A couple of contrasting trials, perhaps. His first was obviously a bit more prominent for him, and most recently just an easy trial. Was that just a case of maintenance for this horse?
Yeah, he's not a good trial horse. Hasn't got much pace, so therefore they don't trial very well. But I think that he's done well. He looks good, and he's due to go to the races, so he might as well start.
Never afraid to sort of send a horse up in trip, John. He tried a mile on his last couple of starts last season. What was your assessment of those performances now that he's back in distance?
Oh, I think he raced reasonably well at his runs at a distance. I think he's on rain-affected tracks and it probably didn't suit him. But coming back to a fast track, he'll probably run better.
Just on where he's drawn, he's in gate 5. Are you sort of happy with where he's positioned? Is he quite a versatile horse in that regard?
Yeah, I think probably, 1,400 metres he's going to be, finish the race off quite nicely. I'm not sure if it's a good distance for him just at present. He might want a little bit further. But if they don't go too quick, well, he might get comfortable and he'll make a race of it.
I mentioned that he's come a fairly decent way in a short space of time. He's got a mark of 70. Did you have quite high hopes for him coming into this season?
Well, as you say, he showed potential from the first day he's gone to the races, so it'll be interesting to see sort of how he develops and how he comes up in the next few months.
I must just ask you about a couple of your sort of stable stars, if you will. We've seen them trial this morning, both Waikuku and An Excellent Proposal. Were you happy with their trials here today?
They seem normal for them. Their first trials back, they're still out of condition, and they'll need another trial to sort of bring them on. But from what they did this morning, it looked like that's normal work for them, and they seem to be on track.
And just one final question, John. Relatively well documented across certain social media channels is that a few of your former stable stars, notably Champions Way and co, have headed to their retirement with Becky Brown at Hillview Thoroughbreds. Great that they can obviously do that. They've landed in Australia, and great for them to have a lovely second career, I'm sure.
Yeah, Becky's been looking after my horses since I come to Hong Kong. We've been sending them back to her, the ones that don't have some other option, and she's able to find homes for them, and she's done a very good job. So hopefully, that will continue.
Luke Handsome Bobo is a horse who you're creating a bit of a relationship with, albeit not a winning one just yet. He went very close last time, and he'll have another go on Sunday. You must be looking forward to jumping on his back again.
I am, yeah. I've had a couple of rides on him now and gone very close both times, so we only need to find a little bit and we'll be in the winner's stall.
Just on that run last time, obviously, it might well transpire that he was beaten by a good one. We sort of knew that Lucky With You was quite smart coming into the race, but your fellow travelled well, didn't he? He seems to have a really high cruising speed.
Yeah, he does, and I think it was his first time 1,000 down the straight here, and he was well trained for that effort first up, and hopefully on the back up 1200 round the corner will suit him.
The assessor's not making it any easier for him at the age of 8. He's put him up a couple of pounds. But do you feel that as an 8-year-old that he's still got plenty of life in those legs just yet?
Yeah, I think so. He, well, both times I've ridden him, he's been full of dash and full of running for me. So he's a big horse. I don't know that the extra penalties will worry him too much. Yeah, so I think he's going really well.
Given his very good course and distance record, does one put you in the best place to jump from?
Yeah, definitely helps. Rather than I was quite happy when I seen the barrier draw come out, and it enables him to have as soft as possible run on the speed there somewhere down by the rail, and gives him his best chance.
I'm sure you'd love to tick that win off on board the 8-year-old. You've gone very close, but no cigar.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be nice to get him over the line.